Welcome to ADT News. Today we will talk about the story behind Steve McCurry's iconic Afghan girl and how he found her again 20 years later. Few people know the name of Sharbat Gul, yet her image is instantly familiar. Steve McCurry's photograph of the young refugee, taken years before even he learned the name of his subject, came to sum up the tragedy of Afghanistan and the dignity of his people in the face of war and exile. The image, known simply as the Afghan girl, eventually became the most recognized photograph in the history of National Geographic magazine after it appeared on the cover in June 1985. Steve McCurry's relationship with Afghanistan is densely interwoven with his career as a photographer. In 1979, the 29-year-old met two Mujahideen fighters in northern Pakistan and secretly accompanied them across the border to photograph the civil war developing in Afghanistan between insurgents and the Soviet-supported government in Kabul. The images that emerged launched his career as a documentary photographer, and subsequent trips to the Afghan war zone resulted in his being awarded in 1980 the Robert Capa Gold Medal for the best photographic reporting. By 1982, the conflict was routine headline news, and McCurry was firmly established in many editors' minds as the photographer of choice to cover it. Then, in 1984, while he was traveling across the subcontinent working on projects covering the monsoon and the Indian railways, he was approached by National Geographic magazine with an assignment to photograph a feature article exploring the increasing number of refugees camps that had grown up along the Afghan-Pakistan border. Later that year, he journeyed to northwest frontier province of Pakistan and from August to November explored many of the 30 or so refugee camps that had been set up just outside Peshawar. Some of the camps had been in place for years, but they still offered little in the way of protection from summer heat or freezing winters. Families often lived 5, 6, or 7 to a tent or hut, with miles to walk for water and only small fires to keep them warm. Yet, as McCurry's pictures show, life went on. Turkoman refugees continued to make traditional carpets, selling them on streets of Peshawar, and temporary classrooms were set up in tents. Despite these efforts by the camp dwellers to establish a routine and some sense of normality in their day-to-day lives, the war across the border was never far away. Hospitals set up by the Red Cross treated a steady stream of refugees, and a number of rehabilitation centers tried to help those who had lost limbs, usually to landmines.